G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map, in the color teal, playing as the Chinese, we've got Crackety here. He's back. Look at that. You know what? I'm tempted. Hold on. We got to get the wide boy back. Look at that beautiful little monument he's got there. The nest of bees. I wish the nest of bees... devs, I don't know if you're watching my videos, but if you are, can I make one request? Because this game is unplayable right now. We need to see this monument at least 3 times bigger. That's a direct quote from a movie. You may be aware of it. Anyway, welcome guys. We're here on Marshland. Of course, if you enjoy this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or like the video as well. That's another thing. Ring the bell, notifications, leave a comment, all that good stuff. On the north side of the map though, in the color blue, we casted him before. We're casting him again. It is the one, the only, the smooth operator. He's got his little fishing boat. He's playing the French. He's having a good time here. We casted a couple of games of him so far, and he's a pretty decent player, honestly. I'm liking his stuff. He's flexible as well on the sibs. He's not one of these one-trick ponies that you do often see, and of course, he's playing the French, so when it comes to ponies, he's going to be an expert in it. I'm excited to see this matchup, a matchup that I have hated for a long time. I shouldn't say hate. Hate's a strong word. A matchup that I have been absolutely disgusted with for a while. It is this matchup. The French do particularly well against the Chinese early on. They do quite well late on as well, but early on is mainly when the power comes in. Those early nights, how well are you able to deal with them? Do you have enough spearmen up? All those kind of questions are questions you're going to need the answers for, because Crackety here, well, I mean, Crackety's a good player, right? And I expect that he will have the answers for all of those questions. Now, for anybody who doesn't know Crackety here, I'll leave a link down in the description to where you can watch him live. He streams over on Twitch sometimes. He's German. He's also a caster, a very, very qualified caster. I actually met Crackety back at Red Bull Wallalol, and I'll be honest with you, he had some VIP access, which was great. It was nice getting to chill behind the scenes, drink a can of Red Bull with my boy Crackety. It was good fun. It's always great getting to go back and cast your good friends, at least in the community, and enjoy a sip of Red Bull while you do it. So, Crackety, this one's for you. That's good Red Bull. I literally just cracked that before the game started. So, I'm excited for this game. You know what? I've been... It's a good thing as well. I've been feeling more motivated about Age of Empires 4. I'll be honest with you guys. There has been a lack of motivation recently. I think it's been like... It's been a couple of things, right? Like, number one, I haven't been well. I've been sick for the last 4 weeks or so. So my little guy, after he had his birthday party, everybody got sick. We all got sick, and it wasn't COVID. We did the tests. We've got influenza that's coming around Australia. It's pretty bad as well. Like there's people dying over here from it, which is, you know, it's always scary, right? And so anyway, he wasn't doing particularly well, and but we're all better now. We're all good now. But like that's it. And then like I've been playing another game, and I'll be honest, like I'm addicted to that game, and it kind of sucks, right? Because as a content creator, every moment that you spend where you're not making content for a game, it's not that you're wasting time, but you always feel like, I don't know, for anybody who's owned their own business, they might feel the same way. But to me, like, because I've owned my own business before, who anybody doesn't know, I have a legal background. I had my own business back in the day. And any minute, any hour that you spend that's not directly focused on that business, you feel like you could be doing something, and it makes you feel so guilty. And it's part of the reason why I quit that business, was because I would work 16-hour days, and any minute that I did that was something that I enjoyed, I felt guilty, like I could be doing more with my business right now. And it also feels that same way with content creation, which I think a lot of people burn out because of. And to be honest, I think that's probably the next point, the third point, which is I've been burnt out from Age of Empires. It was feeling a little bit stale to me, a little bit sour. But I'll be honest, this most recent patch, the fact that they've fixed the zoom, I feel like the devs are listening. And I was talking to my wife about it, and I said to her, like, look, I feel like with Age of Empires, the devs, it's not that they don't care. It's the devs that do care, they only do the balance. And it's like, balance is great right now in Age of Empires. And like, I need the same responsiveness from the devs that I have in the balance team for everything. Because there's so many features that still need to be added into Age of Empires 4. And yet we don't see them coming in. Like, balance changes are wonderful. Like, we always refer to the balance changes as the meat and potatoes of the the patch notes, but at the same time, the real big ticket items are those features that we do see coming in. Don't get me wrong, like there are new features that are coming through. We often see new features that even in the most recent patch, you know, we obviously had the zoom fix, which was great. Thank you for fixing that. But we saw things like before that, we've got now voice commands or voice commands, voice chat that you can have in your team games. Like they're slowly coming through. But look, don't get me wrong. There's still a lot that needs to be added, but that's essentially where I'm at. So anyway, let's talk a little bit less about me and a little bit less about Age of Empires 4 and more about this game, because we've got ourselves beautiful block coming in from Crackety right there. Absolutely amazing stuff. Gets the double charge on the scout. He says you're not coming in for any sneaky charges here. Might even sacrifice the scout here. He does indeed take the scout down, but a lot of damage coming through onto these knights. And you can see that we've got ourselves a villager kill, so some pretty decent damage coming in from Smooth Operator. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets cancelled and brought in a little bit closer. Just because this is going to be quite difficult to get up. I'd be surprised if Crackety gets it up, especially because more knights are going to get rallied down here. And we can see Smooth Operator behind the scenes. He's up to 4 knights, so another one is on the way out here. He's having an absolute field day, and the longer that this is taking to come up, the better it gets for Smooth Operator. Now, granted, Crackety, this is more of a long-term goal, right? Like, this comes up, he secures the deer, secures the berries, secures these berries, but he's still got, like, plenty of sheep here. Look at this. You're talking 8 villages. How many sheep are we on? We got 6 sheep here. How many carcasses? I don't know how to select the carcasses. Maybe, like, nah, it doesn't work. I like that you can trade with the sheep carcass, if you so pleased. Phil's gonna get caught, though. One gonna take a charge to the back of the face. He's got his textiles upgrade through, so no more villagers will get lost. And it looks like this Barbican may be slowly coming up. He's going to move into the barracks, and we talked earlier about this. You know, moving into the barracks early, I feel against the French is just one of those things where if you're playing in this matchup, you're up against the French, just go for a barracks. Like, age up, just go for a barracks in the transition. Like, don't even try for a Song Dynasty. Unless you're going to do, like, a real cheeky 5-minute Song Dynasty, don't even bother. Just go straight for that racks. And just get it up, because those spears, I mean, the great thing about these spears is that they work out through the rest of the game. You're always going to have value. There's never going to be a time where you're playing against a French player and being like, I don't need spears. No, you always need spears against the French player, because there's always the threat, the looming threat of knights that will come in, and there's always going to be that nice little bonus. So it looks like in the end, the Song Dynasty does begin. The Barbican comes up 7 minutes in, and that's going to mean that Crackety is now able to keep up with his French opponent. Let's take a look at the villager time here. So every 15 seconds, a villager is coming up for Crackety here. Compare that over to his opponent, Smooth Operator, who's got a villager every 17 seconds. So every villager that gets trained, it's 2 seconds that you're gaining. So slowly over time, it's probably going to take about 2 or 3 minutes, but he'll eventually catch up to Smooth Operator here, as long as he doesn't lose any more villagers. And we can see that he's got the 2 Imperial officials out early on. Crackety playing a pretty solid style, and now looking to get the walls up. Over on that east side, completely walled up. Down on the south side, rather on the west side, walled up. Now, the one thing to note, and I often reference this game, I played a game back in the day, in the beta, against GUA, Give You Anxiety, one of the best Age of Empires players that ever lived for Age of Empires 3. And I remember putting up a Barbican like this, and I'm like, yep, I'm safe. He's not going to come past that. And I had my walls on this side, walls on the other side, and then he just ran past the Barbican. I was like, I didn't think about that. That's tough. Yeah, not sure what to do there. So my advice to Crackety, you know, obviously this is a replay. The game's already happened. Just wall this anyway. Just wall it anywhere. Save yourself the heartache when it inevitably happens that these knights just decide they're going to run through, because it will happen. It will happen sooner or later. Now, let's take a look at how Smooth Operator is doing, because he is operating a smooth operation over here. That right there is enough villagers on gold to be going Castle Age. Will he do it, or will he just keep making knights? And I like this. There's a part of me that really thinks there might be something to, like, 1 base French, opening up with a couple knights, like doing this, going Castle Age, going for Royal Institute, maybe like throwing down a keep or something. I don't know. I like Arbalatriers though. I feel like Arbalatriers are just, they're so underused. Maybe that's what I become. You know, I saw a comment on one of the videos that I posted. It said Drongo changing his main civ after every replay cast, and I'm like, even at this point, I'm like, man, I should main the French and just make Arbalatrier only. Like, that just, it sounds like so much fun. I'm just gonna fast castle on the French, make only Arbalatrier, and just have such a great time. Like, you get your keep down, so you got super cheap Arbalatrier. Like, what can beat you if you're full Arbalatrier and you've got Springalds to back you up? Like, nothing can beat you. Like, mix in a couple spears against horsemen, and you're literally laughing at the enemy like, come at me, bro. As long as you maintain your siege superiority, there's nothing that can stop you. I genuinely believe that. You've got way too much armor. You've got too much range. Like, they've been buffed up. You know what? I'm doing it. I've talked myself into it. I'm doing it. I'm going to find a one-base French build on it. Maybe we do 2 TCs. Who knows? But that's got some potential. But speaking of potential, look at this. So many villas on gold. Still just maxing out those knights. I love seeing this. This is a beautiful style that we're getting to witness right here from Smooth Operator. Spearman now rounding the corner. Smooth Operator almost unaware, but fortunately does spot it. But all the spears going to be getting some horse for breakfast. The skewers come out. He says we're going to take the fight. We reckon we can do it. So he looks to commit. No upgrades coming through for either of these players just yet. He's got the hardened upgrade. That's going to be it. But look at him just overwhelming the spearman. He says, don't worry, guys. I'll take you out the old-fashioned way. He doesn't need any archers at all. He just takes the fight. Now, the question is, what's going to be the destroyed value after this fight? What? How is Smooth Operator up 200 destroyed value after that fight? How do you I mean, you just had the critical mass. Is that it? He had 100% spear against 100% knight, and he lost. And not only lost, but he lost more. That's wild. That's wild. Behind this, though, looks like a Castle Age is going to be coming through. Crackety's managed to buy himself enough time. Now, Smooth Operator should be playing this the correct way and should just be attacking his enemy immediately after having such a wonderful, vicious victory of a fight like that. That was some good stuff, and we see now that there are still plenty of vills back here on this gold, so he could be thinking about going castle, but he's just going to be thinking about upgrades for the moment, so good stuff coming out from him. Scout back out here for Crackety as well. He's going to be looking to see exactly what his enemy knows. As I mentioned before, I still think that you need to have this walled in. It has to be walled in, otherwise the knights will just simply go past, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do see those knights begin to move forward. But how does Smooth Operator react to this? Oh, he's going to add archers in. I like that. After you've killed the 46 enemy spears with your knight-only strategy, now is the perfect time to add archers, he says. Respect, respect. Let's check in with Crackety. Let's see how he's doing, because the age up's coming through, and he's going into Lancers. I like this. I think this is a super smart play. Lancers obviously do very well against knights. The one thing to note is that it's Castle Age units against Feudal Age units. So you've got extra damage, you've got extra health. Let's compare the pair. 24, or 230 and 24. Remember that, 230 and 24 against 190 and 19. So you're talking about an extra 25% stats on your opponent, which is good. Now, there are exceptions to be made. You've got the French Knights, which have access to that charge. And with that charge, they gain extra attack for the next 2 or 3 attacks after that. So that's, you know, you're kind of fighting back up. And on top of that, the big thing to note, though, for me as the French player, is that I can heal. If my micro is good enough, I can pull back my knights, and they will naturally heal up over time. Now, granted, you can do the same thing here with the Chinese if you make yourself enough, monks. But we do now start to see these walls. These balls are going to be going down quick. He looks to get the repair up, or rather looks to focus it down. Not going to be able to find it. Knight comes around on that top side. Looking to hit the villagers. More Lancers going to be coming out. I think he reveals his strategy here. Keep in mind, in addition to that, he's also got the extra armor point, which is another thing to note, which gives him a little bit more flexibility against the units that he's playing against. Now we start to see crossbows coming in. So not going to be going into spears at all. Just going to be playing spear, or rather crossbow lancer. A really nice combo. I do like this a lot. And Crackety just playing the one-base Chinese for the moment. Imperial Official got to be careful. He's standing there. Runs, looking to try and get inside the TC. We'll be able to find it. Scout coming out here as well. Just giving himself a little bit of a stabby stab. Come on. Got to be so careful, though. Smooth Operator. You don't want to get caught on the backside. He can just look to siege down this wall if he really wants to, but he's just going to say, you know what? Let's go play with fire. Let's see what we can find. I don't like this, to be honest. I feel like he probably should have gone castle and looked for royal bloodlines. Would have given him a nice little out. Could have followed it up with a Mangonel or two. Actually, Mangonel probably doesn't make sense. You're up against Lancers. As soon as I see the Mangonel, I'm just going to say, oh, that's fine. I'll just dive the Mango and just laugh at you. And keep on pushing. Double racks in the middle of the map. Okay. Is he looking to stick it in feudal? Pulled all the vills off gold, by the way. Speaking of gold, let's switch it over so we can see their income. Crackety at the moment sitting on about 1,400 income compared to his opponent who's sitting on about 1,600 income. So slightly ahead the French player is, despite the differences in the economy for, say, the Imperial Official. But you can see this is what I was scared about, right? This is the cleanup that's coming out now. He looked for villages and all he found was the Valley of Death. Look at this, just night after night after night. Really, really big mistake here, I think, from Smooth Operator. Definitely not a smooth operation at all. All right, I'm going to take a swig of the Red Bull in honor of Crackety's lovely fight right there. Good little defense from Crackety coming out. Needs to throw down another mill out over here on the west. Lots of room back here when he wants to do his farm transition. One of the big things that you're looking for when you're playing the... Oh, never mind. Lancers on the front line. Gonna have a little bit of trouble here up against the Spearmen. They've got their hardened upgrade, though. Looking to mix in the 1-1-1 combo. We see Horsemen also coming out right now as well for Smooth Operator. Number advantage looking good. Archers looking to focus down the crossbows on the backline. We'll be able to find it. Horsemen obviously going to do quite well against their the counterpart, the crossbow. Well, not the counterpart, but rather the unit that they counter. Archers just dishing out. Look at the Micro coming in from Smooth Operator. You know, the last game we watched him, Micro left a little bit to be desired. Looks like he's picked it up in this game. Definitely doing quite well here. Going to continue forcing back. Crackety going to be idled out a little bit. He's got the Barbican up. Spears defending on the front line as the Lancers move back and Crackety heads back to square one. One thing to note, Crackety, I'd love to see him picking up relics at this point, but he doesn't. It feels like he doesn't have the space for it just yet. Even though he's gone 1 TC fast castle, it still feels like he doesn't have the space, which is kind of crazy. Now, can I just mention a couple of things here? I love the way that Crackety's playing this. Not going 2 TCs, just going the 1 TC. Which is great, a reactive style. If he spots the second TC from his opponent, then he'll go for a second TC as well. But it just sticks to 1 TC. But look what he's done with his economy. No wheelbarrow, which is fine, but he's picked up horticulture. The other big thing that I want to point out, even though there's an attack happening right now, is he's picked up Imperial Examinations, which allows him to really build up this gold. You can see 1,180 gold in the bank. He's only got 12 villages on gold. So a lot of that's coming through from that passive gold from the Imperial officials. But now, Palace Guards going to get forced out from this position. Oh my lord. Okay, that's still a bug in the game that we've got. The camera bug whenever we rejig or remove the camera like that. But now, numbers looking pretty good for Smooth Operator. He's going to come down onto the backside. We'll not find anything down here at all. It is completely empty. There's a couple of options for Crackety when he looks to put down these farms, but by far this is a beautiful opening. I tell you what, whenever I see open space like this, it just makes me so happy as a Chinese player. Because I'm like, all right, let's just grab 12 villages and just bring them all down here. Throw down a granary. Throw down some farms. We're having ourselves a good old time. 64 villas against 61. It looks like Crackety might be able to pick up some free archers here before that Castle Age comes through. And speaking of Castle Age, a little bit left to be desired on the macro front for Smooth Operator here. Stacking up plenty of gold. How many villas are we talking? 22 villas on gold. Jeez Louise, that is a lot. Where are they? I don't even see them on the minimap. Oh, they're back over here. Is he at double gold close to him? Blacksmith finally coming down for him. Archers will get taken out. And Crackety now with the Nest of Bees. With the Nest of Bees coming out, at this point, it is almost mandatory that you go Castle Age. Jukunu have got veterancy. This is the first Jukunu I see, and it's got veterancy. Was that a mistake from Crackety? I feel like it was a mistake to make. No, he's making Jukunu, and he's getting the veterancy upgrade intentionally. Interesting. So what's the plan here? Is it Spear, Jukunu, Nest of Bees? I guess. I don't know. Not 100%. Man, I tell you what, there's so much food on this map. Look at the amount of food that is out here. Boar, berries, more berries, fish. Who needs farms? You know, we talk about, oh, the farm transition going to happen back here. Like, who needs farms, mate? Oh, I tell you what, who needs spears, though? Look at the knight numbers. Nest of Bees probably going to be looking to fire off on the back line. We can see it's targeted down, but the Knight's not focusing the Nest of Bees. Huge mistake coming out right now. Smooth Operator, you got to get your Knights onto the front line. Massive damage on the back line. We'll look to try and force this back. Turns around. Beautiful line of fire here. Takes out plenty of those archers. Still bringing it back. More crossbows. Second Nest of Bees back here. Beautiful micro coming out from Crackety. We'll lose that Nest of Bees, but it's definitely got its weight worth in gold. It's definitely got its amounts worth, its costs worth. It's done a good job. Let's just say that much. Tell you what, this has been an action-packed game, despite the fact we're fighting with like 2 military pop against 5. It's been like, it has been down the wire on all these little fights. Royal Institute now coming in for Smooth Operator. 66 villagers for him at the moment, off that 1 TC. Oh, it always feels so weird playing 1 TC though. I feel like maybe going in for that, maybe you go like the French 1 TC fast castle into the second TC after the keep. But the thing is, you can't get the keep and the town center off a single stone outcropping anymore. And I hate that, man. Ah, that feels terrible, doesn't it? They should have increased it to 8. No, you know what they should do? They should increase the stone outcropping, the starting stone outcropping to 1250 stone. Or just increase all stone outcroppings from 1200 to 1250. I don't like that. You should be able to get 1 TC and a keep with your starting stone. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit well with me, man. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas here. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, the other option is you throw down a market and you just buy the stone. But it's expensive, right? 174 gold. You're like, do I really have to march all the way out there and grab some stone? Maybe you just take 5 vills and just go march and like gather 50 stone. But you're going to forget about it. And like 33 minutes later, they'll still be long distance mining. And you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about you guys. Awkward. +2 upgrades now starting to come through for Crackety. He's picking up his ranged armor. Picking up fertilization as well. Now smooth operator numbers beginning to build up here. Slight villager advantage for Crackety. Both of these guys still on 1 TC. Now these villagers are down to 16 seconds apiece. So only 1 second behind on what Crackety is running. Warwick going to be looking for a little piece of arse. What's he going to find here, though? Doesn't look like much, unfortunately. As the villagers do turn around, Nesta Bees, we hear it sprinting off towards the middle of the map. Crackety. I tell you what, it's so bold of him to just push out with 2 Nesta Bees like this. No spears to defend. This is blasphemy in my Chinese playstyle. I'm like, you should never leave your VIPs undefended like this. And that's the way I see it. But looks like Crackety might be heading up towards that north side. So much Gaia on this map as well. Look at all the wolves out here. Wolves, boars, everything. Tell you what. But you know who's missing? The Tree Man. The Tree Man. They took him. They took the Tree Man away. Rest in peace, Tree Man. You were a hero. All right, Royal Bloodlines is now through. And as a result, we see Veteran Spearman coming out for Crackety. He says, you know what? If we want to defend against these knights, we're going to need some form of bracing, some form of attacks on that front line. So he looks to go into the Spearman, which is the right choice. But he might be in a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't have an option for a re-wall. There's definitely no secondary wall he can be going for. There's plenty of vills down here, and the farm transition has started. Vills might get caught out of position. Crossbow coming out. Gets immediately eviscerated. Spears looking to follow it up. Keep in mind those lancers went towards the top side. I don't know exactly where they are. They're looking to siege down a wall at the moment. A palisade. Spears. Palace guards coming out one by one. Crossbows on the back line looking to try and dish out some damage here. But the Nesta Bees also going to be helping out. Vills returning back to where they came from. It looks like the re-wall coming through on that front. Vills got to be careful though. He's losing out a couple of them here. When you're on 1 TC, every villager counts. Relic's getting picked up behind the scene. We hear those wolves focusing it down, and it looks like the wall did get repaired. Arbitratria now going to be coming out. But these knights just staying alive for so damn long, these veteran royal knights with their bloodlines. But looks like the last of them will be going down very, very soon. Let's check in with the Arbitratria. They're out. They're finally out. Got their melee armor. +2 melee armor. What is that? Really? The upgrades that he picked up? He got melee armor and melee attack. Makes sense. Makes sense. Looks like Relic will be going down. Crackety already picked up 1. Second one, unfortunately not going to make it all the way back. Crossbow numbers, or rather Arbitratria numbers, starting to build here. You know what? I really got to... I'm going to try it. I'm going to be a French main. I want to see if I can find some kind of weird one-base French strategy where I go for a keep. In fact, I don't need the extra... I don't need that extra stone because I'm not going for a second TC. I want to go for a second TC after the keep, though. Makes it hard, man. It makes it real hard. Wait, Crackety. He's got enough stone in the bank for a second TC if he wants it. He's on 80 vills. I mean, at this point, obviously the second TC does help. But still. Knights looking to be evading, escaping. As the Lancers look to clean them up. Another little roaming force down here. Smooth operator trying to find any way through, but obviously Crackety well and truly ahead of the enemy when it comes to the defense. Nesta Bees unable to unload within that distance. Farm transition slowly coming through for Crackety, up to 13 farms now. Let's take a look and see if we spot that second TC coming down. Doesn't look like it, actually. Just going to be holding it out on the 1 base for now. Let's ride on board with his opponent. A lot of vills on gold. 46 vills on gold. Jeez, smooth operator. I tell you what, mate. You might be smooth on your operation front, but on your gold collecting front, you've got an addiction, my friend. I don't know what you're saving up for. I know the economy at the moment, it's not the best. Housing prices are absolutely whack. At least they are in Australia. But as a French man, I mean, I'd expect probably in France they're pretty expensive as well. France seems like a desirable country. I'd like to live in France. That seems like a good place to live. Crossbows numbers looking pretty solid here. The one thing I've heard about the French, though, is it's like you can speak English, but don't speak French to them. Unless you speak perfectly. They will just, like, mock you. They'll be like, oh. Like, that's what they will do. But speaking of, we've got ourselves... Whoa. Oh, the sound design in this game is so good, dude. The Nesta Bees coming in. you know what's wild? It's like Age of Empires 4 has like S tier sound design, and then it's like all the features that you've got. It's like, yeah, D plus, maybe C minus if you're lucky. Sorry guys, sorry. any chance I get to like pick on Age of Empires, I would do it. You know, one of my favorite features from Beyond All Reason, which is the game that I was talking about a bit earlier, like being addicted to another game. I'll try and explain it, okay? So if you grab these lancers, and what you're going to do is hold down right click and drag it like this. Instead of your lancers going to like a single spot, they will go to individual points along that line depending on how many there are. So if there's 4, or like as an example, if there's 2, and you go right click, hold it over to here, you'll get one that goes here and one that goes here. And I'm like, it's so intuitive. It's so cool because I can get like my spears and I can just go like that, and it will just bring them and put them in a line right there. It's like, it's so cool. You can do really funky stuff with it as well. Like you can just grab your palace guards and just like go woo, like that, and it'll put like one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. It's like, it's this small little thing that you would never even think of needing in a strategy game, but it actually is really, really nice to have. Maybe it only works for that game. I don't know. But there are times where I'm thinking like, I would just love to have, you know, I want to draw a concave with my crossbows. I can put them in a line formation, or I could go vroom, like that and just draw like a nice little concave there so that they've got a better position in their fights. Small things like that, right? Springwood numbers now coming out. I tell you what, Smooth Operator definitely feels like he is ahead in this game so far. Even though the destroyed value is a little bit better for, I say a little bit better, a lot better for Crackety. It's like 50% more for Crackety. It still feels like Smooth Operator is in control of this game. Maybe just because the Chinese style is very much like, I will let you have map control. Now, another interesting thing to note is there are 4 large gold veins on this map. One of them's already been taken on this north side. That leaves 3 remaining. But one of them is a safe one here for Crackety. He doesn't really need to push out and take gold on this map. Will we see the quick wall come through? Needs to see a quick wall come through immediately here. He's looking to buy time. We'll be bringing everything back. A little bit of attack over on that west side. Not going to be able to find the quick wall, though. Not enough villagers here to do it. The reaction time wasn't fast enough. And now, once again, Crackety going to be in a little bit of trouble. A little bit of strife as the Knights make their way onto the back line. Keep in mind, Crackety now on that second TC, so he'll be able to rebuild through this defense or through this attack much faster. If he looks for the re-wall here, he can potentially trap these units in. And we can see that Smooth Operator indeed recognizes that and says, you know what? We got enough vills there. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know how many he got, though. It didn't feel like he got a lot. I felt like maybe he got 4 or 5. I wasn't really paying attention to it, though. Let's check in with him, see how he's doing. Upgrades. No gambesons. No crossbow stirrups. Kind of wild. Man, look at these upgrades, dude. An extra 5 melee armor, an extra 25% attack speed, and on top of that, the Arbalitrier already gets an extra +1 range. Like, the crossbow is such a pivotal unit. It is insane to me that the French is not like S+ tier with just crossbow spam only. Maybe it's just simply because crossbows aren't mobile, right? And you need mobility. Look at the number of Royal Knights that are out here. Army value in favor of Crackety. He's up by about 2,000. At least he was for a second. He's now only up by 500. A whole bunch more units coming out. No keep thrown down here for Smooth Operator. So he's still paying full price for these units. Remember, you can get a discount from 20 to 25%, depending on whether you look for that unique upgrade. Unique New York. That's a hard one to say, isn't it? Unique New York. Springwood's on the back. Will be able to focus down, and he's got the 3. That's the critical number that he needs. Looking to focus down those Nesta Bees on the back line. Should be able to find it. Springwood moving up here from his opponent. He'll take them all out, though. Crossbows on the back. Together with the Jukunu's going to be struggling up against these Knights. We can see the Palace Guards now. He's completely shredded through all of these cavalry. I don't know where they are. It says he's got 20 out on the field, but all I see are bodies. It is bodies of cavalry right here as Crackety here overwhelms his opponent on this defense. I don't know where it went wrong for Crackety, but I guess the composition was just too damn strong. Spears, Palace Guards able to tank up that front line. The crossbows able to dish it out. A single mangonel may have changed the story here for Smooth Operator, and unfortunately, Crackety just cleans him up completely. The one base challenge coming out from both of these guys. Obviously, Crackety moving into the second TC a little bit later when it was safe to do so. But I tell you what, it came in late though, didn't it? I just heard a big bang on my roof. So for anybody who wonders, I'm casting downstairs in my house, and above my casting room or my studio is the kids' play area. And I heard this big bang, and I'm looking on the baby cam right now. I can see my little tyke. He's got like this little crawling ball that he uses. It goes roll, roll, roll the ball, and it crawls around on the floor, and he follows after it. And he's just like thudded it down as hard as he could. he lifts it in the air and does like the Superman, like brings it down like boom as hard as he can. Because he's got another ball. It's like an inflatable ball, and he does it with that one. But I guess the difference is that this one's like made of plastic and steel. Not steel, aluminium, or as the Americans say, aluminum. Sorry, I like to pick on you Yanks as well. You know what? I'm going to say it, even though we've got a big fight that's unfolding right now with the sacred site potentially being contested. It's like, say uranium, and then say plutonium, and now say aluminium, not aluminum. I'm sorry. Anyway, I do remember someone saying that it should be aluminum is the stuff you put in your kitchen, and aluminium is the stuff that goes on the periodic table. Is that what that's called? I tell you what, it's been so long since I've done science. I think it is. But we got to keep coming down, and look at this, immediately throwing down stables. I like this keep position, and I like the fact he goes into stables. My concern is that it's coming in too late. He's behind on economy. Forward keep coming down from Crackety here as well. It's always nice that Crackety's name is Crackety here, because I can say a forward keep from Crackety here, and it means like it's the guy Crackety here, but it's also Crackety's putting it here. So I do like that. It's nice casting Crackety games. They're always action-packed, the Crackety games. It's always really solid on the defense. Just has enough units to get by. Economies at the moment, we compare the pair. 2,400, 3,100, about 4K compared to his opponent, who's sitting on about 2.8K. So Crackety miles ahead, it seems. He's picked up 3 relics. He's not holding any sacred sites, but it's those Imperial officials making the difference. That forward keep going to be a great point to leverage attacking into the enemy base. He'll be able to throw down some trebs if he pleases, or just really push off with anything else. Now all this siege begins making its way forward. He also takes the stone outcropping. Very, very cheeky. Could be looking for a second one. Oh my god, he could take the second stone outcropping as well. That would be really cheeky. I'd love that, actually, if he does that. Slow pushes up with keeps. Now, these are the new Chinese keeps. We haven't talked much about it. But, oh my god, look how fast it fires, dude. Why is it firing so fast? Is it meant to be that fast? Yeah, that's how fast it should be. And it fires 3 of them. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Mangonels, double mangoes off the back line. Looking to try and hold on to the front. Landmark under attack. Beginning to round the corner. Beautiful blocks coming through. The mango's able to stay alive. Gets up a couple more shots. Third mango out. He's looking for a 4th one as well. Might need to rally it to the back. Brings it onto the front. It goes down. He's down back to 3. Mangoes continue moving forward. He's looking for it. Manages to keep them alive for the moment. Palace Guard's going to be taken out. All 3 mangoes still alive. Springled now. What's he focused? Where is he going with your mangonels? Smooth operator. This is not a smooth operation. Smooth operator. Just sacrificing the mangoes to the mango god. I know that there's a god of rain. I didn't know there was a god of mangoes though. Must be awfully sweet. Or she. Whoever she is. Let's check and see how much these knights are. 105 food. That is a cheap knight. I tell you what. I pay less to my palace guards. Do I actually? No, it's close though. It's very close. Crackety now moving forward with the next keep, the Chinese keep. I thought this keep was meant to be nerfed. I remember looking at the thumbnail from Beastie's video and it said the keeps were dead. But Crackety comes here and he's like, actually, the keeps are alive. And not only alive, they're thriving. Pushing in towards the enemy base. Smooth operator, he's left with not many options here. How do you deal with this from the smooth operation perspective? Your mangoes are all gone. Now you got to deal with keeps. Your landmarks are under threat, and you've got a second one, the third one that's right back here, the Royal Institute. How does he even defend against this as the battering rams begin to come through? I love that these individual units are stopping the keep from coming up. First it was the battering ram, then it was the second crossbow. And this crossbow is not even with everybody else. Like, he was intentionally blocking that keep from coming up. First landmark will be going down. Smooth operator. I feel like for smooth operator... Oh my god, how do you even hold this? Mangoes could be the way. But the enemy's just got so many melee units. You're just going to get on top of them. 3 mangoes. One of them goes down. He takes out the back line off the top rope. It's a good shot. Looks like the attack on the south side has been shut down. Maybe that keep was better positioned towards his own base rather than on that southeast side. Landmark number 1 goes down. Chinese keep looking to take over. Look at, hold on, let's watch the damage. This thing is a machine gun, dude. Look at it go. I mean, enemy, the difference here, there's a little bit more armor that's being affected by these shots now, but you can reallocate your shots sooner, if that makes sense. So instead of like overkilling things now, you're just going to be able to kill them instantly. There you go, like boom, and now it retargets. Does it one-shot a Vil? Does it one-shot a Vil? If it one-shots a Vil, oh, it might. Oh my god, it might actually one-shot a Vil. Oh, it does. It totally one-shots a Vil, even with textiles. Dude, this thing could be a villager-killing machine. Oh my god. Nice little counterattack. Does get shut down. Still units over on this east side. He's trying to force Krakeny to begin attacking at another area. And Good Game just gets called. He says, there's nothing I can do. I can't deal with it. Too many keeps in my base. Too many battering rams in my base. We've got a nice little flash that comes up and then disappears there for you guys. Fellas, make sure you check out Krakeny. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can watch Krakeny. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.